Tulsa King Season 3 Episode 4 picks up right where the chaos left off. Dwight's crew is still reeling from that distillery hit, and the tension in the room feels like a storm ready to explode. Dwight's pacing the floor, eyes cold, jaw tight, and nobody dares to speak. Tyson's got his head down. Bodie's fidgeting. Grace is watching it all unfold, and Goody's just trying not to breathe too loud. You can feel the weight in the air, the kind that comes before something breaks. Dwight ain't mad about the liquor. Nah. This goes way deeper. He's mad about the principle. About the fact that his people, his family let him down. Dwight built this empire brick by brick. And now he's watching it start to crumble because someone got sloppy. Someone got soft. He turns that glare on Tyson first. You can see it, Tyson's like a son to him. But right now, he's the reason millions in product are gone. Dwight don't need to yell. His silence says it all. Finally, he speaks calm but deadly. You had one job. Protect the family. And you let emotion cloud your judgment. That line cuts deeper than any threat could. Tyson's been Dwight's most loyal soldier, but trusting serenity. That was the kind of mistake that could end empires. Instead of firing him, Dwight does something worse. He benches him. Says he needs to sit this one out, reflect, figure out who he really rides for. And in Dwight's world, being sidelined feels like exile. Then he shifts focus. Bodie gets tasked with tracking the stolen shipment online, tracing any whispers about bootlegged bottles popping up on the dark web. Grace, meanwhile, gets sent out to calm their buyers. Keep the money flowing so the streets don't think Dwight's slipping. Everyone's got orders, but nobody feels safe. You can tell this ain't just business anymore. It's personal. Dwight's code has always been loyalty first, money second. But this week, loyalty's looking a little fragile. From there, the story shifts gears fast. Dwight heads out to meet Bill, the wild-card biker boss who's been more headache than help lately. Their alliance has been rocky from the start, to alpha dogs with too much pride and not enough trust. Bill's already on edge, blaming Dwight's people for the distillery mess, claiming the Dunmires hit his supply chain too. The tension between them, it's about to blow. They track down a small-time driver rumored to have helped move the stolen liquor. Dwight wants to play it smart, ask questions, find the source. But Bill, he's got no patience. The second they reach the guy's house, Bill kicks the door down like a man possessed. Dwight's trying to keep it clean, trying to maintain control, but before he can say a word, Bill shoots the driver dead. No warning, no reason, just impulse. Their only lead, gone. That's the moment you realize what kind of danger Dwight's really in. It's not just the Dunmires coming for him, it's the people standing beside him. Bill's temper, his recklessness, it's not an accident, it's a symptom. His need for dominance is eating away at the partnership, turning allies into liabilities. You can see Dwight holding it together, swallowing his rage, but his eyes say everything. He knows he can't build an empire on chaos, and that's when the show flips perspectives. Suddenly, we're in New York, dim lights, quiet office, and that unmistakable tension that always means bad news. Vince, the rat from Season 2, walks into Quiet Ray's office, looking smug like he's got something valuable. He starts snitching, telling Ray all about Dwight's booming Tulsa setup. The liquor money, the new operation, how it's all growing under the radar. But Ray, he barely moves. He listens in silence, face like stone. Then, just as Vince starts smiling, thinking he's earned points, Ray says, "Leave." Just one word, cold and final. That silence says everything. Ray already knows what's happening in Tulsa. He's been watching. And that calm reaction, that's not ignorance, it's calculation. He's letting Dwight build, letting him think he's in control. All while waiting for the perfect moment to take it all away. Because in the mafia world, success ain't a threat, it's bait. They wait until you're big enough to steal from. That's the kind of slow burn setup that Tulsa King does best. And just when you think that scene's done, Ray makes a call. We don't hear much, just a few words that freeze the air. Keep watching him. The time's coming. That's it. But that line changes everything, because it tells us Ray's not just observing, he's preparing, and whatever's coming next, it's not just about money, it's about control. Back in Tulsa, Dwight's got no clue how close the knife is getting. His empire's expanding, his crew's working overtime, but every move he makes is being tracked. The Dunmires might have started this war, but the real enemy, he's still sitting behind a desk in New York, smiling at the thought of taking Tulsa without ever firing a shot. This first half of episode 4 lays it all out. Loyalty's cracking, enemies are multiplying, and Dwight's starting to realize that power always comes with a cost. The streets are shifting, and the question isn't who's loyal, it's who's waiting to flip. Because in Tulsa, betrayal doesn't scream, it whispers. And Dwight, he's about to hear it loud and clear. The next part of episode 4 dives even deeper into the chaos that's slowly creeping through Dwight's world. After that tense confrontation with Bill, Dwight heads back to base, his cigar lit. Mind racing, that old school calm hiding a storm underneath. The crew's scattered, everyone's on edge, and the silence in that warehouse says more than words ever could. It's that kind of quiet that makes you uneasy. Like everyone knows something's coming, but nobody wants to be the first to say it. Bodie's at his laptop, screens glowing, fingers flying as he digs through online black markets, trying to trace where their stolen liquor ended up. He's not just hacking, he's fighting for the crew's survival in his own tech-savvy way. Grace keeps the money flow steady, making calls, assuring buyers that the king still runs Tulsa, but you can tell she's holding back a lot more than stress. There's something heavy on her conscience, something she hasn't said. And then there's Tyson. The kid can't sit still. He's been benched, but you can see the guilt chewing him alive. Dwight's words keep replaying in his head. You let emotion cloud your judgment. That line hit him where it hurts, because it's true. He trusted Serenity, believed her sob story, and now everything's falling apart. He can't let it go. He starts replaying every moment with her tone, her timing, her stories, and slowly, he starts connecting dots. None of it adds up. The way she knew where the liquor was. How she just happened to show up when things got rough. Something's off. So, Tyson does what any desperate soldier would. He goes rogue. He doesn't tell Dwight, doesn't tell Bodie, he just grabs his keys, finds his father Mark, and asks for backup. And that's a big move. Because Mark's an ex-cop, a man who's been fighting to stay clean after watching his son dive headfirst into Dwight's world. But seeing that fire in Tyson's eyes, seeing his son broken, angry, determined, Mark caves. One night, he says, "We watch, we don't act. You already know how that's gonna go." They park outside Cole Dunmere's warehouse. Engines off, lights low, just watching. The father-son dynamic here hits deep. Mark's sitting there thinking about how far Tyson's fallen, while Tyson's just trying to make it right, to prove he's still loyal. The conversation between them, it's heavy, regret, pride, guilt, all mixed up. And then, just as they're talking, that warehouse door creaks open, and out steps Serenity, the same woman who played Tyson like a fool, walking arm in arm with Cole, laughing. The betrayal hits him like a gut punch. You can literally see the moment the heartbreak turns into rage. That's when Tyson snaps into focus. No more pity, no more second chances. He grabs his phone, takes pictures, records faces, license plates, every detail. He's done being the weak link. You can feel the switch flip in him. The kid who wanted Dwight's approval just became a soldier with a mission. And that's where the show gets smart, because this scene ain't just about revenge, it's about evolution. Tyson's finally stepping into the game for real. He's learning the hard way that loyalty in Tulsa comes with a price tag. Meanwhile, Bodie's doing something way more dangerous than anyone realizes. Everyone thinks he's just tracking liquor online, but he's gone deeper. He's hacking into the Dunmere's network, using fake profiles, spoofed servers, and a digital mascot. He made up some weird AI character named Jasper to create a viral buzz around their stolen product. It's genius. While the Dunmeres think they're selling stolen whiskey to rich collectors, Bodie's actually rerouting their orders, flooding their servers, and stealing their customer info. He's crippling their entire operation from behind a screen. It's quiet warfare. Dwight's old school muscle meets Bodie's new school strategy. The writing in this part of the episode is slick. It's not just showing us action, it's showing us the evolution of the crew. Dwight's still the old wolf, running on instinct and respect, while Bodie and Tyson represent the new era: tech, risk, emotion, and adaptation. Together, they're rewriting how the game's played in Tulsa. But here's the dark twist: while they're learning to fight smarter, Dwight's losing control of the board. Every move they make, Ray already knows about, and he's not stopping them. He's waiting. Then, in one of the most tense mid-episode scenes, Dwight meets with Mitch at the bar. The place feels emptier than usual. Mitch pours him a drink, and for a minute, they just sit in silence. You can tell Dwight's trying to figure out if he's losing his grip or just imagining it.
Mitch tells him something that sticks. Sometimes it's not the enemy you see that breaks you. It's the friend you never questioned. Dwight doesn't respond, but that line hangs in the air like a curse, and that's when Dwight's phone buzzes. A known number. He steps outside to answer, voice cautious, eyes scanning the street. The voice on the other end? Calm, low, familiar. It's Quiet Ray, and the first words he says make Dwight freeze. "I hear business is good in Tulsa." Dwight's face goes blank. He doesn't reply, doesn't confirm or deny. Ray chuckles softly and says, "Enjoy it while it lasts." Click, call ends. That's it. But that one line, that one tone, says everything. Ray's not threatening him, he's promising something. Something big. Dwight walks back inside, but he's not the same. You can see it, the paranoia, the realization that New York's still watching him. That even 3 states away, the shadows are closing in. And the cruel irony? Dwight's out here fighting fires in Tulsa, not realizing that the match was lit from New York in the first place. By the end of the section, the board's set. The Dune mirrors are bleeding, Tyson's waking up, Bodhi's outsmarting everyone online. And Dwight's starting to feel the weight of every lie, every deal, every alliance he's made. The cracks are spreading. And it's only a matter of time before one of them turns into a full-on break. Because in Tulsa, power don't protect you, it paints a target on your back. After that chilling phone call from Quiet Ray, you can feel something shift in Dwight. The man who usually runs on confidence and control now moves with a different kind of energy, silent, sharp, and watching everyone twice. He's no stranger to threats, but this one feels different. Ray's not just testing him, he's warning him. It's that old mafia code: no shouting, no chaos, just calm words that carry a storm behind them. Dwight knows the clock's ticking. The question is, who's gonna make the first move? The next morning, the crew gathers again, and that family vibe they used to have? It's gone. Everyone's tense, second-guessing each other, and Dwight can feel it in the air. Bodhi's talking fast, showing him hacked data, saying the Dune mirrors are scrambling because someone's leaking their client list online. Grace is trying to stay cool, saying they just need to move the recovered liquor before Cole regroups. But Dwight barely hears any of it, his mind spinning around Ray's words. He's been in this game too long not to recognize manipulation when he sees it. The more he thinks about it, the more it makes sense. The Dune mirrors might be a distraction. The real threat's coming from New York, and then there's Bill, the biker boss, rolls in late. Like he owns the place. He's got that same wild grin, acting like he's the only one who knows what's really going on. But underneath that grin, there's something darker brewing. You can tell the man's ego took a hit after Dwight checked him over the driver shooting. He's been quiet since then, not because he feels guilty, but because he's plotting. The show doesn't say it outright, but every look, every pause tells the story. He's waiting for the right time to flip the table. Dwight tries to keep the peace. Tells the crew they're going to hit back, but smart. No bullets, no bodies, he says. We move product, not graves. It's his code: control the streets without blood. But Bill laughs, leans in, and says, sometimes you can't scare wolves with words. The room goes dead silent. Bodhi looks away, Tyson tenses up, and Dwight's face hardens. You can see that old gangster fire in his eyes. You forget who runs Tulsa? He asks quietly. And for a second, Bill looks like he might back down, but then he just smirks, shrugs, and says, yeah, for now, that line sticks. That's not rebellion yet, but it's the start of it. Meanwhile, Tyson's storyline takes a heavy emotional turn. After catching Serenity with Cole, he's running on anger and adrenaline. He and his dad, Mark, start tailing her again, trying to figure out just how deep she's in. They watch her meet with 2 unknown guys at a truck stop outside of town. Mark wants to call it in, handle it clean. But Tyson, he's beyond patience. He sneaks closer, snapping pictures, catching snippets of their conversation. One of the men mentions the next shipment heading north, and just like that, Tyson realizes this ain't just stolen liquor, it's a network. A whole smuggling operation running parallel to Dwight's. Serenity was never just bait, she was a messenger. Tyson rushes back to tell Dwight. But when he walks into the warehouse, he freezes. Bill's already there, standing close to Dwight, talking low to friendly. The vibe's off. Dwight notices Tyson's look and tells Bill they'll talk later. Once Bill leaves, Tyson spills everything: Serenity, Cole, the truck stop, the new route. Dwight listens, nods slowly, but he doesn't look surprised. He's already piecing it together. Cole's not smart enough to move that much product alone. Somebody's bankrolling him, and Dwight's starting to suspect who. That's when Dwight decides to move fast. He calls in Bigfoot and Mitch. Sets up a convoy to hit the Dune mirrors route before it leaves the state. It's risky, but Dwight's running out of time. He tells Tyson to stay back, but the kid refuses. He says, you said family looks out for family. Let me fix what I broke. And for a long second, Dwight just stares at him, then nods. It's not forgiveness, but it's trust, the kind you give once and never again. That night, the Tulsa crew rolls out. Trucks rumbling, guns checked, faces locked in. The whole sequence feels like a powder keg ready to blow. Dwight's leading the charge, but something about the setup feels off. The show does this thing where it slows down just enough for you to notice the quiet between engines. The unease in Dwight's eyes. The way Bill keeps looking at his phone like he's waiting for a signal. You can feel it, something's about to go sideways. They pull up to the convoy site, and sure enough, the Dune mirrors are there. Cole's crew, armed and ready, standing by their trucks. Dwight signals the team to move, and for a second, it feels like they've got the upper hand. But then lights flash from the ridge. Someone tipped them off. Gunfire erupts. Chaos everywhere. Dwight dives behind a truck, shouting orders, trying to hold the line. Bodhi's pinned down, Grace is ducking between crates, and Tyson's right in the middle of it, refusing to back off. The way the scene's cut, you can tell it's not random. The ambush feels too perfect, too timed. And then Dwight sees it, Bill, standing behind the trucks, not firing, just watching. For a split second, their eyes lock and Dwight knows. He doesn't need proof. That silence between them says everything. Bill didn't just show up late, he set this up. They managed to retreat, barely. Cole's trucks get away again, the liquor gone for the second time. And Dwight's empire takes another hit. But this time, it's not about the product, it's about trust. Back at the warehouse, Dwight's pacing again, fists clenched, fury radiating off him. Bodhi's rambling about server hacks, Tyson's bleeding from a graze, Grace is shaken. And Bill walks in like nothing happened. Tough night, he says casually, pouring himself a drink. Dwight doesn't answer. He just stares at him. This is where the show starts planting the seeds of betrayal in plain sight. Bill acts calm, even cracks a joke, but Dwight's not laughing. You can feel that slow burn of suspicion turning into something darker. The man who used to trust his gut now can't trust anyone. And that's how it starts, the slow collapse from inside. By the end of this section, Dwight's world looks the same on the surface, but everything underneath is crumbling. His crew's wounded, his operation slipping, and his so-called partner might be playing both sides. The Dunmirs may have fired the shots, but Ray's the one pulling the strings. And Bill? He's the middleman who just might sell out his own boss for a throne. Tulsa's getting colder, darker, and the king's starting to realize that in this city, power don't just corrupt, it isolates. Back in Tulsa, the heat's turned all the way up. Dwight knows every second counts now, and the way he moves. Calm on the outside, chaos in his head. He starts lining his soldiers up, checking loyalty like a general before war. Every man who's ever stood beside him gets called in. Chicky's move with the FBI ain't sitting right, and word is, there's someone in Dwight's own ranks feeding info. He plays it smart, acts like he doesn't know, but his eyes, they're scanning everyone like a lie detector. Tyson's quiet, but you can see guilt chewing at him. He's still covering for that shipment gone wrong. The one Dwight doesn't know tied straight back to Chicky. That's the twist nobody's seen coming. The family war ain't just between coasts now, it's inside Dwight's circle. And the craziest part? The traitor's right under his nose. While all that's brewing, the FBI isn't sleeping. Stacy's walking that thin line between doing her job and protecting Dwight. But this time, her hands are shaking. They've got her cornered. Her boss throws her photos, evidence, Dwight meeting with a supposed ghost from his old crew. Someone believed dead for 10 years. Stacy's eyes widen. Because if that's true, it means Dwight's been hiding more than just money. It means the past he buried is clawing its way back. She tries to warn him, but Chicky's people are already tapping her phone. One slip and she's out, or worse. The show's turning into a chessboard and everyone thinks they're the king. But Dwight? He's just trying to make it out alive without losing another piece. Then there's Bodhi. Man, this dude's arc is something else. He's not the same quiet tech guy anymore. Ever since the FBI raid, he's been spiraling, paranoia, trust issues, you name it. He starts recording everything, keeping files, cameras, even tracking Dwight's calls for safety. But in doing that, he stumbles on something wild. He finds proof that Chicky's been laundering money through a charity front in Tulsa. The same one Dwight's been publicly supporting. Bodhi freaks out, wants to tell Dwight, but before he can, someone breaks into his house. Nothing's stolen, but everything's rearranged. That message? Clear as day, we're watching you. Now Bodhi's spooked, packing heat, sleeping in his car, and still trying to play loyal. It's the paranoia episode, everyone watching everyone, nobody knowing who to trust. But you know, what's genius about this show? The silence. The moments when nothing's said, but everything's loud. Like when Dwight visits that old warehouse at night, the one he used to run shipments through. The place is empty, but you can feel ghosts in the walls, memories, enemies, regrets. He finds a single cigarette butt on the floor, still warm. That's when it hits him, someone was there seconds before him. He draws his gun, moves through the dark, and you can almost hear his heartbeat. But when he flips the light, there's a photo taped to the wall. It's him and Stacy from months ago. Someone's playing psychological warfare now. The message ain't subtle, we know who you care about. That's the type of move that breaks even the toughest man. Meanwhile, Chicky's building his empire like a true villain. He's recruiting young blood, buying cops, making deals with every snake in the grass. He wants to choke Tulsa dry till Dwight bends or breaks. But here's the twist, Dwight doesn't bend. Never has. Instead, he plans something cold, something strategic. He starts reaching out to people Chicky burned years ago. Old enemies with grudges just waiting to be cashed in. The lines are shifting again. The ones who used to fear Chicky are now whispering Dwight's name like he's some myth. Coming back from the dead. That's the power of reputation. Once you earn it, it haunts forever. And in the middle of all this, Tyson finally snaps. He goes off script, hits one of Chicky's men who was tailing him. Beats him bad. Dwight's furious, not because of the violence, but because now the game's exposed. No more hiding. Tulsa's about to turn into a battlefield and both sides know the other's ready to bleed. The tension? You can feel it in every frame. The quiet before the storm, the look in Dwight's eyes like he knows what's coming. Season 3, Episode 4 ain't just setting up a war. It's showing you what happens when loyalty turns lethal and love becomes the weakest link. This is where everything hits the fan. Tulsa ain't breathing right anymore. The air feels heavy like thunder waiting to drop. Dwight knows it. He's seen wars, betrayals, and blood before, but this one feels different. It's personal. He calls his crew together, Tyson, Bodhi, even Stacy, and you can see in his eyes. The Dwight we knew at the start of season 3 is gone. He's colder, quieter, more calculating. He lays it out straight. No more hiding, no more peace talks. No more waiting for Chicky to make the next move. We end it, he says. That's the line that sets the tone. He's taking the fight to them. But here's the twist. Chicky's already 2 steps ahead. Before Dwight's crew can even move, one of their safe houses blows. The fire lights up the night sky, smoke rolling through Tulsa like a war zone. That's when Dwight realizes the traitor finally made their move. Someone close gave up their location, everyone's scrambling. Tyson's trying to get Dwight out of town, but Dwight refuses. Bodhi's hacking into Chicky's accounts, trying to pull proof that can shut his operation down. Stacy's stuck between the badge and her heart. If she helps Dwight now, she's done for. And right in the middle of that chaos, Chicky calls Dwight. Calm voice. No yelling, no threats. Just pure venom. You built a family, Dwight. I burned it down, click, that's it. No more games. Dwight slams the phone down, rage burning in his face. This ain't about money or power anymore. This is about pride, legacy, revenge. Later that night, Dwight goes to the bar alone. That same quiet spot where everything began back in season 1, he orders one drink. Stares out the window thinking, you can feel his pain, man. Every person he tried to protect, every second he tried to go straight, gone? The flashbacks hit, Armin's betrayal, Chicky's threats. Stacy's warnings all blending into this storm of memories. But then, he smiles. That cold, dangerous smile that only Dwight Manfredi can pull off. Because for the first time, he's not reacting anymore, he's planning. He's got something bigger cooking. Something that'll end this war once and for all. Cut to the next morning, the crew reassembles. Dwight's calm again, wearing that suit like armor. Tyson's nervous, Bodhi's bruised, Stacy's silent. Dwight looks at them like a father who's done grieving and ready to strike. We're not going after Chicky's money, he says. We're going after his name. That line hits hard. Because in their world, name is everything. You kill a man's name, his reputation, his respect, and you kill his empire. The plan, simple but brutal. Dwight's going to expose Chicky's dirty deals, burn his alliances, and leave him isolated. And to do that, he's going to use the very system Chicky corrupted, the FBI, the banks. The politicians. It's poetic justice, man. The same city that tried to break him is now his weapon. Tulsa becomes a war map, every street a move, every ally a piece. And just when it looks like Dwight's about to strike, another twist drops. Stacy gets arrested. The feds caught her trying to leak files from the Bureau's database. Files connected to Chicky's charity laundering. Dwight's entire plan collapses in one night. You can see the heartbreak in his face, the way he clenches his fists but doesn't speak. He knows this ain't just bad luck, this is Chicky pulling one last cruel move. The war just got personal again. As the episode closes, the camera lingers on Dwight standing outside his bar, watching the city lights fade into the dark. Sirens echo in the distance, and you can hear his voice in a soft, broken tone. Family was supposed to be forever. That line hits like a bullet. Then, footsteps. Someone steps out of the shadows. It's Tyson. He's shaking, eyes red, and in his hand, a phone. You need to see this, he says. Dwight takes it, opens a video, and freezes. The screen shows Chicky sitting with someone we thought was long gone, Armand, alive. Working with Chicky the whole time. That's the cliffhanger. The betrayal nobody saw coming. That's how episode 4 ends. No closure, no comfort. Just pure chaos and heartbreak. Chicky's stronger than ever, Stacy's locked up, and Dwight's been hit from every angle. But that smirk he gives in the final seconds? That's the signal. He's not done. The lion might be bleeding, but he's not backing down. Season 3 episode 5 is shaping up to be revenge in its rawest form.